Okay, guys, welcome to a brand new episode of WrestleSlam. It's the first one of February. Thankfully, I've hit record. I'm joined by Liz, Jur, and Mr. Stone himself. It's been a busy week, guys. We've a lot on the plate. First of all, I'm going to go right into it. Ronda Rousey, she's trending. She's back. Made that Royal Rumble appearance. A lot of people are, not happy that she won the Royal Rumble. Jur, first of all, I'm going to come to you. She's picked Charlotte as the opponent via WrestleMania. Now, that could always chop and change as time moves forward, but what's your take on Ronda's impact since she returned?
I'm glad she's back. She's a natural at it. When she first arrived in WWE, everybody was, praising the shit out of her in her match alongside Kurt against Stephanie and Triple H. So, she is natural at what she does, and she had a great year. The time she was there, she did as much as she could do, and the fans kind of turned on her, and she kind of turned against them. But I'm still glad she's back because they have been missing something in the women's division since she left. Becky went out, obviously had the baby, and Sasha and Bayley have been injured a lot. They haven't really built up anybody else to fill that gap. So now that Becky's back and now we've got Ronda back, we have genuine, WrestleMania main eventers who've done it. Charlotte and Ronda's been done. They did it at Survivor Series, which wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be Becca and Ronda at that one. So I think this is the one they actually wanted in the long term before Becky got injured that time by the punch in Ajax. They wanted Charlotte and Ronda to main event WrestleMania, and Becca wasn't supposed to be part of it. But I would have preferred Ronda and Becky at WrestleMania instead of Ronda and Charlotte. Only because we've seen Ronda and Charlotte now, so Ronda and Becky would have been a fresher matchup, and Ronda could have tried to get one over on Becky after she beat her at WrestleMania. So it's hard to know, but again, you want Bianca Belair to be in a match at WrestleMania as well. She needs a title match. So.
Definitely. Liz, do you reckon they've rushed Ronda back? We've seen the way she came back in a row, but it looked like she was out of sorts a small bit. Like that could be due to ring rust now, I suppose, the break and becoming a mother. But do you think she was kind of maybe rushed back? Maybe it was a big offer on the table, and they got her back, and maybe she wasn't ready just yet.
I know it was partly in the works for a couple of weeks, but to be honest with you, I don't think they left themselves with much choice. I think they booked themselves into a corner because when you think about it, there was no other credible winner for the Royal Rumble. They had built nobody else up as a credible opponent. So, all the ones they had built up, their pushes are over. So I'm not against Ronda winning, to be honest with you, because I don't think there was anybody else there to. And as I say, when you book yourself into a corner like that, then you have to pull the trigger on someone like her because you haven't built anybody up enough to make as much of an impact. You will get that quick pop of a Liv or a insert various woman's roster name here. You will get that instant pop, but then you're kind of like, right, where are we going to go from here now? How are we going to build this to Mania when we've had no build up until then? So under the circumstances, it was the right call. And yeah, it would probably happen maybe. I definitely think there was a bit of ping pong in there for a bit as to who she was going to face. Because now, the door is opening for who's Becky going to face at Mania.
Interesting.
Ideally, rematch with Bianca Belair, but.
Yeah, time will tell. Mick, what do you reckon? Obviously, we had a little bit like if you have eliminations and we've seen Ronda coming back and obviously she cleared the house and she won, but do you think it was the right call to have Ronda to come back, Royal Rumble? Do you think maybe who would be your pick if Ronda didn't come back to the Rumble? So for argument's sake, just say Ronda did not enter, who would have been your pick to win the Rumble and maybe deserve it,
Well, I said it last week that who I thought should have won it. Who I wanted to win was obviously Charlotte Flair, but who I think should have won it was probably going to be. I thought if anyone should win it, I think it was going to be Bianca Belair. The reason I think that is because when you look at Becky Lynch, if you look at Charlotte Flair, and now you can add Ronda Rousey into that as well. It's quite clear that those three are operating on a whole different level to the rest of the roster, and WWE, they see it that way as well. But I think if Bianca went back-to-back Rumble wins, that just helps her along, get up to that level a little bit more, And then, so if she was to win Rumble back-to-back and then go against Becky at Mania, and she wins, then the argument's there that she is on that level and that WWE see her on that level. In regards to Ronda Rousey, it was the right move to bring her back, because Mania needs that star power. It always needs that star power to make it feel larger than life, and Ronda Rousey is larger than life in a lot of ways. So I think it was the right call for her to come back, but I don't think it was the right call for her to win. I think Charlotte maybe could have eliminated her, or she eliminated Charlotte. They eliminated each other to set up that match, for example, for WrestleMania, something like that. WWE are always going to put, they're always going to put the win on Ronda as soon as they knew that she was going to come back. It was always going to go that way.
Yeah, no, interesting take. I love it. Obviously, men's Royal Rumble. We know Brock Lesnar won. Interesting how the night kind of panned out. And we don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, there's some crazy weeks ahead. Bill Goldberg's back. He's obviously challenging Roman. Interesting. A lot of people said Roman's going to drop the belt. Do you believe it, or is it just bullshit?
Jesus.
No way.
Who said that?
This is similar to the whole Ronda and Charlotte thing, that they were supposed to have this match 2 years ago, and because of COVID, it didn't happen, and Braun ended up beating Goldberg at WrestleMania. This is just one of the matches they wanted to put on Roman's fucking record to say he beat Goldberg and move on to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That's pretty much all it's going to be. It'll be a 5-minute fucking spear versus spear match, what they wanted to do at WrestleMania.
But anyway, Brock's going to fuck up the match and Goldberg's going to get the pin. And then Goldberg bows out at WrestleMania. Roman versus Brock, no title. Goldberg loses the belt against fucking whoever, you know what I mean? Is there any, can you see past that, or is it just a no-go?
I would love Brock and Roman not to be about the title. They should be, that match the way they had with Stone Cold and The Rock. Their third match wasn't for a title, they didn't need a title. But WWE aren't building up anybody else the way they were when Rock and Stone Cold had that match. That wasn't the main event. That was, second last match in that card, I think it was. So the title matches come after that. They're not going to put anybody else on after Brock and Roman.
Yeah.
That's the main event.
No,
that's the only thing.
What's your take on Goldberg? Look, I know we've all had our opinions over the last year and a bit. Phil Connolly doesn't really like Goldberg. We know that. But look, what's your take? Look, do you see Goldberg being squashed, Roman destroys him, or can you see, for some reason, Brock coming out, fucking up Goldberg, or fucking up Roman, and then bang?
I think we're just going to get the usual, Goldberg payoff that, oh my God, Goldberg can spear, and then it would just be Roman to the end. I think we're going to get what we kind of always expect of it, as long as Bill doesn't hurt himself, in the process. But I think that, to be honest with you, this isn't something that is on my to-do list. It really isn't, and I know that he has another match left in his contract, but it's just so fucking slapdash and just thrown together, and it's just you could hear the audible groans, you know what I mean? When you could hear them through social media. You wouldn't even have to be in the arena. You can hear them. People are just let's just insert him anywhere, you know what I mean? He's the opposite of the Ronda pull the trigger, you know what I mean? It's like don't pull that trigger, let's hope to Christ it's a blank. It's just not the same effect. And I think that he didn't have to be in the title picture at all, not at all. We never got a payoff for the heat for him and Matt Riddle, never. I want to see that. I absolutely want to see that, you know what I mean? Totally want to see that. That will have me invested in Bill Goldberg's last match, not been bounced around by Roman Reigns. It's just such a space filler and a shame and a letdown for his last match.
Yeah. Mick, this put something into my mind. Obviously, this Matt Riddle and Goldberg shit that happened there a while back, I'm not your bro and this and that. Yeah. Could Riddle beat Goldberg at Mania for the title if scenario happened, or yet again you just see Roman absolutely beat the living shit out of Goldberg. Goldberg sails away. Does Goldberg go out in a loss?
I think Goldberg loses this match, but I think he'll get another contract for sure. For sure, he'll get another contract. As long as he can still walk to the ring, he'll be happy to take another one. With regards to that match, with the Roman Reigns Goldberg match, I mean, it's only going to go Roman's way. There's no point taking off taking the belt off him now. Even though I know they're kind of unsure of what they want to do for Mania with him anyway. But my concern with that match is not so much Goldberg hurting himself; it's Goldberg hurting Roman Reigns. Because that's very, very possible.
Yeah.
His track record isn't great for his last couple of matches in terms of things like that. So I think WWE are really taking a risk with this match. But I think they know that anyway. So maybe it's just gonna be like a 3-4 minute match. Spear, Superman punch done, something like that.
Yeah, no, agree completely. You still there? All good?
Yeah.
Good stuff. No, that's a quick connection problem. So, lads, I have to mention quickly, it was announced with Cork. Kurt Angle is coming to Cork, Cypress Avenue, Tuesday, April 26th, Cypress Avenue, Cork. You can get your tickets right now at eventbrite.ie. I know there's a few of the team that got their tickets already. We're all going to be in attendance. Liz, are you looking forward to meeting Olympic champion, Hall of Famer Kurt Angle?
Yeah, can't wait. He's fab. I got him to record a message as a gift for Jerry when we got married, and he was sat in his car doing his fab, unbelievable, and it was just such a nice guy, so I think to talk to him in person will just be fascinating, and to listen to the stories he has, because he seems like he has a good old sense of humor, but still humble and grateful. So I think from a storytelling point of view, I think he'll be fab, and a very interesting listen. So yeah, super excited.
And I think we have to make the quiz with Liz happen, surely, with Kurt Angle. I'm sure that's something that we have to pull.
My God, could you imagine, lads? Jesus. Added into the repertoire. Oh God, Kurt Angle's on it. Oh, I'll have to do a bit of digging on that one.
Never say never, I'm telling you. But yet again, guys, tickets are on sale. Kurt Angle live in Cork. He's in Dublin as well, but for all us Corkonians, Tuesday the 26th of April 2022, Cypress Avenue, Cork. Big thanks to all the team at Cypress Avenue / Inside the Ropes for booking this one. And look, if it goes well, I know they've got more stuff planned for Cork, bigger names. I know there's been name drops over the years. We all want, Ric Flair, Jericho, all these players to come to Cork. So look, I'm sure with all these sellouts, it's going to happen. So best of luck, and we will see everyone there. It's going to be a great night. Now, lads, Forbidden Door is trending on All Elite Wrestling. It's got Joe Rush thinking. I think he's having some sleepless nights. He's on the way to work and he's pondering on who it can be. Now, personally, I reckon Joe Rush wants it to be Josh Alexander. I know he's a Josh.
That'd be amazing.
And Josh quite likes, I know Josh likes Joe too. We've spoken to him on 2 or 3 occasions. Great guy, Canadian. Joe, who's it going to be? Who's this guy that everyone's beefing up? There's a few names dropping. It's hard to know. Shane Mack is dropping. Keith Lee's dropping. Josh Alexander's dropping. Tim Don Cronin's been dropped a few times. There's a lot of surprises.
It's impossible to know, because that report that Fightful had out there recently that nobody backstage knows who it is. They're keeping it very hush hush. So whoever it is, they're going to have to be a massive name. It can't be that whole no disrespect to Christian. I love him. I love his career. But that whole, when his big moment came, it was just really, is Christian or Big Show or Mark Henry? All these it has to be somebody enormous. I love Josh Alexander. I just don't think he's that big name. His contract is up, and he's, I would love to see him in AEW. He'd be brilliant there. But the way they're playing this out and they're keeping it so quiet, it has to be somebody fucking enormous, like William Rotunda or, Karrion Kross or somebody like Keith Lee. He's just after getting married, so it's hard to know, is he going to go off on honeymoon or is he going to show up at AEW? But my nephew actually messaged me today and threw out a good spoiler one. It could be Cody Rhodes, because he's technically a free agent.
Oh my God! Nuclear!
I would love that.
Nuclear! I love it.
It could.
Amazing. I've changed my pick. Yeah.
Interesting. Lizzie, what you reckon? Are we going to see Shane Mack turn up? Is it going to be someone crazy, or is it going to be Cody Rhodes?
Lads, if he walks through that fucking tunnel, I swear to Jesus. Well, apparently it could be Triple H. Do you know what I mean? That's the latest now. Do you ever hear the likes of it? And you're like, betraying the family. Wow. They made him an offer he can't refuse. We're like, oh Jesus. But yeah, I mean, it would be a great opportunity surely for Josh Alexander. I know Brandy name dropped him last week as well, but I think that I'm leaning towards Keith Lee, and I think that obviously I know he's just gotten married and stuff like that, but like, I mean, no offense, but we just got married and they rang me up, I'd be like, love, hold off fucking 2 weeks, will ya? You know, so I can see Keith Lee turning up. I'd be very interested to see who he would feud with, because there's big guys in AEW that don't have an awful lot to work with, and especially someone as agile as Keith Lee. Karrion Kross seems to have like multiple indie bookings. He's out there all over the place already. You know, so. And obviously, of course, I know that we have bucket hats on sale on AEW as well, like for Bray Wyatt, but or Wyndham Rotunda, shall we say. But I'd be happy with either of them, to be honest with you, you know. So, it's all hush hush.
I love it. Mick, what's your take on it? Look, it's obviously getting us all kind of curious. Is Tony Khan, Tony Khan only backs shit up. He normally, Punk. We've seen all the big names come, Bryan Danielson. What's your take on it? Who are we going to see come through them doors?
Well, like, when I think of Forbidden Door, I always think of someone coming through from another promotion who's already with another promotion, So when I think of it that way, I don't think it's going to be any of the release guys from WWE. So I like, there's a good chance that a few of them could end up there in the long run, like, but I don't think it'll be anyone that isn't signed to a current or isn't with a current promotion. So I started thinking about guys who from other promotions that might come through. So I was thinking maybe Jonathan Gresham from Ring of Honor would be a cool one. Josh Alexander obviously is a great one. I think in my heart of hearts, well, I don't know, it could be the Briscoes, but I think in the heart of hearts it's going to be someone from New Japan. I just have that feeling. Maybe Switchblade Jay White would be a cool one. That would be my pick, actually, would be Switchblade Jay White. But if they're keeping it all hush hush and they don't want anyone to know, I can just see, the Forbidden Door's open, Cody comes through and he comes out to the ring, and then you hear the coin flip and Okada comes out. I think that would be fucking amazing. I just want Okada on American TV, like, that's what I want. So bad.
I love it. No, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Sticking with All Elite Wrestling, guys. Bryan Danielson, Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. Well deserved. It was definitely coming. Joe, he's definitely one of the greatest of all time, isn't he? Without a doubt.
Oh, ridiculous! Like, he doesn't have bad matches. He's one of the few, like, as much as he was starting out in WWE, and a lot of people would have known much about him other than the stuff he done with Ring of Honor. Like, he always stood out. Like, as small as he is, like, he stood out. Among against the Big Show and Kane, like, in those segments that Kane, Team Hell No, like, he stood out against somebody like Kane. Like, he doesn't need to be a big, heavy, bustly guy. Like, he's just one of those people. Like, and he's got everything. He's a great storyteller. Again, I always say it. He's the most unselfish wrestler out there. Like, he will put anybody over if he got the chance to. Like, he lost to at WrestleMania there 2 years ago. He lost to Sami Zayn's Intercontinental title match, in front of nobody, like, and they put on a hell of a match, and it's not talked about it at all because nobody saw it. But I want to go back and watch, sold his heart out. So his days in Ring of Honor, like, obviously they changed the game back there and probably led to NXT becoming the NXT it was. The Black and Gold brand, half of the roster in there ended up, coming to NXT and changing the game.
Definitely. Let's imagine Bryan Danielson versus, vintage Bret Hart or, vintage Shawn Michaels. Like, it's a pity his generation was just after, but, like, to be fair, he's been in some incredible matches. But, like, just, like, what I mean? It's been a privilege watching him all these years. I remember when he broke onto the scene and obviously he came to WWE. Like, he's made quite a name for himself. And look, he's non-stop in All Elite too. Like, he's very consistent, isn't he?
Oh God, definitely. And hit the nail on the head, definitely. The likes of even Owen Hart as well, or Mr. Perfect. I would have loved to see Bryan Danielson face any of them. and he's probably the only one who can successfully flip-flop from heel to babyface, do it successfully, and take the crowd with him. You know, like what WWE want to do so badly with Becky. If they let her do it herself, she'll be grand. But he can do it successfully with minimal effort, you know, and it's a tip of the hat to how good he is. Obviously in ring as a technician, but also with the psychology behind the whole thing, the performance, everything. He has everything and can go for another 10 years easy. No question.
No, absolutely love it. Mick, what's your take? Look, we all know Daniel Bryan, winning Danielson, he's truly one of the greats. Obviously, well deserving of Ring of Honor. No doubt he's going to be a future, Hall of Famer in probably All Elite Wrestling, WWE, anywhere he goes, New Japan Pro Wrestling. But obviously, a great feat for the man himself to be, inducted into the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, if you look at Ring of Honor as a whole, like, if you look at the stars that they've created that are now in WWE and AEW, like the Adam Coles, the Hangman Adam Pages, but Daniel Bryan is just another one of those who made his name in Ring of Honor. I can't think of anyone more deserving than to be in the Hall of Fame than Daniel Bryan. He's kind of, in a lot of ways, kind of changed the game himself, in terms of how other wrestlers look at wrestling and how they move, how they do everything in the ring. So I did. I do think it's a great thing for him, just to help them out in their time of struggle as well. That'd be great. It'd be amazing to see him go back to Ring of Honor, for a couple of shows and do a couple of matches. That'd be really good. Him and Jonathan Gresham would be amazing. Yeah, fair play to Daniel Bryan. He's right up there with Brett. He's right up there with Misawa. He's right up there with Flair, Charlotte Flair. And he couldn't think of anyone more deserving than him.
No, I love it. Mick, if you ever met Charlotte Flair, do you reckon you'd faint, or what's the story? I know you're a big fan.
If I ever met Charlotte Flair, I'd probably just walk away because I wouldn't be able to handle that situation. I'm 6'3",
It'd be like that scene in the start of American Pie.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I hope Charlotte.
I'd go up to her. Joy, do man. I go up to her and be like, Charlotte Flair, I love all your books, and I go away.
Love it. Nice and sweet.
Yeah.
Lads, we have to mention obviously as well. Look, we know Phoenix Wrestling at the back. Some great shows coming up. They will be in Limerick. There's a lot of shows coming up, but they have announced Steve Savage will take on Justy Phoenix Championship match. Interesting match, though, isn't it? Justy and Steve Savage. It's going to be a huge atmosphere in Limerick for that one.
I think it'll be an amazing match. I think they're going to beat the shit out of each other, really. Like, those two boys don't hold back. Excited for Justy. Like, I think, obviously, hopefully he wins and continues on and, maybe gives people like, Terry Thatcher a chance and a few others, and eventually maybe drops it to somebody like Reardon O'Connor again, or somebody young, or even, Matt Skyler or somebody like that, eventually, like, maybe hold it for about a good year, give people proper matches, like, elevate Phoenix up to another level, like having him as the champion, like, and running the show head down and the matches, like.
100%. The March 5th is the date. It's going to be a double bubble, so like, you could bring the kids along as well for the kind of afternoon show. But spectacle-wise, Joe, they're incredible, aren't they? Like, we've been lucky enough, Liz, to be a part of the last 2 or 3 Phoenix shows. But I know we're going to get another quiz with Liz at some stage. It's rumoured to be Limerick. So, Liz, what you reckon of the Limerick crowd? Look, we know you had Sash Martina in ring. What did you think of that?
I mean, the Limerick crowd know their stuff. Do you know what I mean? And, come here, we wish Justy well in his reign, but, Steve fucking Savage has a huge following in Limerick, and they are all for the hometown boy. Do you know what I mean? And, my God, he laps it up like a cat with the milk, he does, So, Limerick crowd can be tough to win over, but Justy's well able to hold his own. Do you know what I mean? Who are we kidding? Do you know, he can go fucking head to head with any part of this match. I think it's going to be fab. Always a great show from Phoenix, and cannot wait to be there again ringside.
Oh, it's going to be real. Mick, I know you're a busy man, but are we going to get you to a Phoenix show? I know you're dying to get to some. Hopefully it's going to happen this coming March. There's a lot happening, but you reckon we might, the fans, they might get to see, the famous Mick from WrestleSlam? A lot of ladies out there, Mick, that are asking for you, by the way. Fianna Flair might get jealous, though. We have to be careful.
Yeah. She might not be the only one as well.
He's just a sexy Mick. Sexy Mick. Not really.
Yes.
He's a prick. He's a prick. I just missed it.
Look, it's for others to say. If you want to say that, it's fine. But look, I'd love to go. I'd love to try and see as much live wrestling as I can. Just schedule-wise, hopefully it works out, and hopefully I'll get to visit Limerick again very, very soon.
If not, Phoenix are in Cork on Good Friday.
Yeah.
On Good Friday? Man, I'll be at Mass that day.
You can bring your cans too. We can all bring our cans.
Mick goes to the Stations of the Cross.
A can of Monster. No, I love it. Lads, I have to quickly touch base as well. Obviously, OTT. We know Scrapamania, National Stadium, Dublin. Tickets, eventbrite.ie, March 12th. And obviously the road Scrapamania, February 19th, which is next week. It's going to be a great show. KRF Centra. Beast Mode, obviously, Belfast, February 27th. And obviously Limerick is going to be happening quite soon as well. So we hope to be in attendance for all them as well. Lads, it's been a pleasure as always. We've covered all the basics. It's good to be back. Our new shows moving forward will launch on a Tuesday. So, as you said, a lot of changes and chopping and changing at the moment. But Tuesdays we will go out. We'll have all the gossip, all the pay-per-view news. Big thanks to everyone that came to the Royal Rumble at the Macau Sporting Club in the heart of Cork City. Great atmosphere. Mick had a great night. Liz enjoyed a great night. I had a great night. Timmy the Don Cronin was there. He was in attendance. Looking fabulous, Tim wasn't he? Looking like $1 million.
Looking like he stole $1 million.
Yeah. He's a secret millionaire. But guys, pleasure as always. Thank you for tuning in, and catch us again next Tuesday for WrestleSlam the podcast. Be good.
Bye.